Oh, hi. And we're in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's live lesson for IELTS Speaking. The topic is family. We're going to be looking at vocabulary, idioms, collocations, grammar, pronunciation, and even a few tips to help you on your way. So listen, let's get started right now with a little bit of this. Hello there, it's nice to see you. How are you? Welcome to today's live lesson. It's wonderful to see you here. Thank you so much for joining. Great. So today the topic, as I mentioned at the very, very beginning, is family. We're going to be talking about all about the family and the different language we need to talk about that confidently. If it's your first time here, a big, big welcome. My name is Keith. You may know. I have the website, the Keith Speaking Academy, as well as a Facebook page at Keith Speaking Academy. And also, of course, if you're on YouTube, you know it's English Speaking Success on YouTube, with the other day just over 3 million subscribers. Mad. Why are people watching me? I don't know, but thank you so much. A big thank you to all of you who have followed me for a long time on YouTube. I do really appreciate all of your support. It's fantastic to see you all. Thank you so much. And let me see, I'm looking for the comments box. I'm trying to find the comments box to see hello, to see who's here. Wow, got quite a few people in. We've got all the way from Punjab, India. Now that my eyesight's good, but it's not that good. Let me make that a little bit bigger. I can't see all of that. I'm going to make you bigger. Banjib, hello, nice to see you. Who else have we got from? Oh, from Myanmar as well. Good to see you here as well. Fateme, good morning. That's great. Adrian, received my email. Good. Very pleased you're here as well. Hi, Nazin Mir. Lovely to see you here. Kirilev, all the way from Russia. Great to see you. Mohammed Bolash, great, from Bangladesh. We've got people all over the world. We've got Samira from Algeria. Great. Uzbekistan. Hello, the guys from Uzbekistan. I can see a big following growing there. Great to see all of you as well. Lee, nice to see you. It's interesting, Lee, because believe it or not, you are the star of today's story. You're going to see that later. Chubby Bunny from Taiwan. Hello, hello. Let's get the show on the road. Indeed, a final good hello to Hanan from Indonesia. So lovely to see you all. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me. So what are we going to do today? We're going to talk about family. The lesson lasts for about an hour and a half, sometimes up to 2 hours. I know, it's like a feature film, but bear with me. It's going to be interesting. And of course, if you need to pop out to speak to people at work, I know some of you are watching at work, or you need to go to the toilet, of course, it's fine. Come back and join me. But also remember, this is recorded on YouTube and the Facebook page, so you can come back later and watch it if you like. But if you're here, stay here. Don't go. Let me go through today's lesson, just so you know what is going to happen today. Let me talk briefly about it. I'm going to talk about the family, like these guys over here. We're going to begin talking about vocabulary and some kind of essential vocabulary and more advanced vocabulary for those of you who are maybe at a higher level. I'm going to present today's vocabulary through a story. And the story goes from the beginning of the lesson right to the end of the lesson. So you can actually find out. The story is about this guy up here. It's called Lee. Interestingly, right? This guy is Lee, and the story is called Rags to Riches. Rags are old clothes. Now, if you can imagine, from old clothes to riches, it's somebody who's very, very poor and becomes rich. It's the story of Lee and how he becomes rich. We'll find out all about that today, and that will be a great context to learn today's vocabulary and grammar. I'm going to do a listening bingo, which is a fun game. It'll test your listening skills, but it'll also develop vocabulary. We'll be doing that later on today. We'll have a few, I've got some jokes for you I'm going to share as well later. And towards the end, I want to show you an IELTS speaking model answer, especially for those of you preparing IELTS. I know some of you are not, but some of you are. So I'll give you a model answer on the topic of family to look at. And then we'll finish up with Kahoot. Kahoot is a really fun game. We just review some of the vocabulary today, so you can be making notes. Although I will give you a PDF on my website that you can go and get later, right? So Kahoot is the last activity. And just to show you that, in case you don't know my website, you may, but you may not know it. Let me show you over here the website. I'll just kind of switch myself back. So this is the Keith Speaking Academy website. Lots of stuff for helping you develop your speaking skills in a fun and professional way, right? If you want to ace the IELTS speaking test. In addition to information about IELTS speaking and speaking tips, there are the free live lessons. And basically here, you can get the download of the PDF of the lesson. Last month we did geography, but as you go down, so this is the first Thursday of each month we have these lessons. There are lots more. You can just click on all the different lessons here. There's loads of them, right? Different topics as well. But tomorrow or later tonight, you'll be able to get the PDF of today's lesson, right? So I always take some time to edit it, make it pretty and usable, user-friendly, I think we say. And then I'll put that on the website later. So that's it. That's what's in store for today. I'm going to keep an eye on the comments just to see if there's any important questions come up. Yeah, MHK, I remember when you had 400k subscribers when I started. Wow, that was a long time ago, maybe 2 years ago. So thank you so much for following me. That is really, really nice. I'm very touched. It's great. Excellent. Somebody says we need a higher sound. I'll see if I can up the sound or get closer. I'll just speak more loudly. Okay, so let's begin today's lesson. We're talking about family, right? We're going to talk, first of all, well, let me show you, I want to test you. Let's test you first, okay? I'm going to do a warm-up activity here. I want you to fill in the gap with one word, okay? So number one has, Jane has no blank. She is an blank child. And number two, I live in a blank neighborhood far from the city. So just type in the chat, type one and the word. Actually, there's two words, right? And type number two and the word and put in the missing word, okay? I'll give you a moment to do that. Let's have some funky hip hop in the background. Einar has his IELTS speaking exam tomorrow. Any advice? Yes, Einar. Relax, smile, and enjoy the test. Yeah, enjoy the test. Strange advice, but really, it makes all the difference. Let's see what some of you have got. Francesca, nice to see you here. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Beijing Mini. Remote. That's number two, right? I assume. Nice. Ah, Krithika, good to see you here. Luca, hit the nail on the head. Very interesting. Okay, nice. Let's take off that jazzy music. So a lot of interesting answers. Now, rather than give you the answer directly, I want you to listen to the beginning of a story, and I want you to find the answer in the story, right? You can check your own answer by listening to the start of this story, okay? So let's do it. Let's get into the story. It's very, very short, and you can check your answers with this, okay? Let's do it. Rags to riches. Rags to riches means to go from being very poor to being very rich. Rags are old clothes that people wear. Rags to riches. Chapter 1, Roots. In a small village in China, there was a boy named Li. Unlike many of his friends who were only children, Li had one little sister, Xiao. Now, an only children is the plural. Here it means only child, which is that you have no brothers or no sisters. So no siblings, you are an only child. We can say little sister, meaning younger sister. Both of those are okay. They lived in a cozy home, nice and comfortable, in a rural neighborhood. In fact, their village was really out in the sticks. The nearest shop was a 2-mile walk away. So a rural neighborhood means from the countryside or related to the countryside. Out in the sticks is an idiom that means far away from anywhere, a long way from the city. Normally we use it to talk about the countryside, a village out in the sticks or a house out in the sticks. Notice also we say a 2-mile walk away, even though it's 2 miles, because it's an adjective, and adjectives in English don't have an S, they don't agree. It's a 2-mile walk away. Okay. Okay, great, nice. So that was the story. You've got the answers, I think, but let's check together, right? So we said Jane has no blank. She is an blank child. So in the story, right, of Roots, Lee, unlike many of his friends who were only children. So we talk about an only child, right? Many of you got that. So we would say an only child. Okay. Here, there are different possibilities. Some of you said sibling. Now, sibling is the right word, but you need the plural. Jane has no siblings. Okay. Often after no, we use a plural noun, right? There are no people here. If it's accountable, there are no cars in the street. You can't say there are no car. You would say there isn't a car. But here, there aren't any cars. There are no cars. So after no, usually we have a plural. So Jane has no siblings. Okay. Alternatives, as many of you said, you could say brothers. Remember the plural, right? She has no brothers. If it was singular, it would be Jane doesn't have a brother. Jane has no sisters is another alternative. Okay, in the plural. So all of those, let me just put this in gold, in bold as well. Okay, great, excellent. So that was it. And here in the story, they live in a cozy home in a rural neighborhood. Rural, as you saw, was to do with the countryside. So one possibility, I live in a rural neighborhood, far from the city, right? So if it's far from the city, it has to be something like rural. There are other possibilities. Some of you said, what did you say? Some of you said friendly. That's fine. Friendly, what others did you have? Oh, some of you saying the voice is so low. I really don't know why the voice is low. The voice should be fine. I hope it's okay. Let me know. Let me see. Any other ideas? Rural friendly. Just checking any others that you had. Remote. In a remote neighborhood. That's nice. Yeah, excellent. Suburban, somebody had. Yes, you could have suburban. Although the problem, right? Suburban is around the city. If it says far from the city, I don't think suburban really works. I think suburban neighborhood is near the city. So it's a good word, but I think here it's not maybe quite the right word. Okay, great. So that's it. That's the story of Lee, the beginning. So we have brothers, sisters, rural, remote, small. Yeah, you could say small, friendly, etc., etc. Okay, nice. Now then, let's move on. So IELTS speaking, vocabulary. I'm going to look at a little bit at vocabulary. So siblings is the word for brothers and sisters. To be honest, at least in England, we don't use the word very much, right? We tend to say brothers and sisters. Siblings is slightly more formal. You see it much more in written English rather than spoken. So typically I would say, do you have any brothers or sisters? It sounds a bit formal to say, do you have any siblings? But that's in England. It's okay. You can use the word. Of course, it's correct. Now, in the story, it talked about Lee has a little sister, right? A little sister, which is a younger sister, and her name was Xiao, right? Little sister or brother. So you can also say younger, a younger or little sister or brother. Let me just make that a bit clearer. I just realized that might not be completely clear. Younger sister or brother, little sister or brother, same idea here. Okay, so younger sister, little sister. I am the little brother in our family. Elder sister or older sister. The more common one is elder. I've got an elder sister. However, in spoken English, we do also say older, right? I've got an older brother. I do have an older sister as well. And we say to be an only child. Notice the an, right? To be an only child. Now, more vocabulary. I've put in blue, I've put slightly higher level vocabulary. So this is not essential, but it's more advanced. We have, for example, half sister or half brother, and also stepsister and stepbrother. A half sister is when a parent remarries and has children with the new spouse. So there's a blood relation. So a half sister, for example, right? Let's imagine, I mean, my mother passed away many years ago, but let's imagine my father. This is just an example, Dad. Don't worry. Let's imagine my father remarries and has another child with his new wife. That would be a half sister or a half brother, right? Imagine my father remarries. It's just an example. My father remarries and his new wife already has some children. That would be my stepsister or stepbrother, right? So there's no blood relation. So that's a stepsister or stepbrother. Parent remarries someone who already has children. There's no blood relation. Stepsister, stepbrother. Okay, now I write this change and repeat. The reason I write that is to remind myself to encourage you when you're learning vocabulary to just change a word and repeat. Okay, So a great way to do this is to just to make sentences, right? Make sentences which are true. Say, I have an older brother. And then just change words. I have an older sister. I have 3 older brothers. I have 3 elder brothers. I don't have a half sister. I don't have a step brother. You see what I'm doing? I'm just changing a word and practicing this new vocabulary. And this output, this practice, is going to help you learn and build up your confidence with speaking. It is so simple. You just make a short phrase and then change a word, and you're practicing and practicing. Super, super simple. It's just change and repeat. Okay? Try it. Just make up a sentence with elder sister. Right. Perfect. I think. I can't hear you, but I assume it's perfect. Okay. With neighborhoods. So talking about different neighborhoods. I talked about rural neighborhood. Rural, on a similar note, remote, right, is far away from anywhere else. A neighborhood out in the sticks, right? Remember that phrase from the story? Out in the sticks means a long, long way away. So you could say it's a neighborhood out in the sticks. A great idiom, that. I love that idiom, out in the sticks. The sticks are the parts of the tree. So it's kind of out in the trees, but we don't say in the trees, we say in the sticks. A neighborhood out in the sticks. Rural, remote, okay? Run down kind of just means old, falling apart. Not old. The neighborhood is old. It's not well kept. It's not looked after, right? Urban is not rural. So it's related to the city. An urban neighborhood. You could say suburban neighborhood, right? The suburb is just around the city. We talk about a residential neighborhood. A residential is a neighborhood where lots of people are living, because some neighborhoods don't really have houses. They just have commerce and shops. So in many cities in England, people don't live in the centre. These are commercial neighbourhoods. The residential neighbourhoods are often outside the city. Residential neighbourhood. We can talk about a bustling neighbourhood, right? Basically meaning busy, lively. A bustling neighbourhood. Do you live in a bustling neighbourhood? Respectable, right? Very nice. Respected. A very nice, maybe quite expensive, maybe, I guess, lots of professional people live there. It has a good reputation, right? So again here, with change and repeat, you can just make small sentences, right? Practicing the collocations. These are all collocations of neighborhood. I don't live in a rural neighborhood. I live in a suburban neighborhood. My neighborhood is not run down. I think it's a respectable neighborhood. Can you see what I'm doing? Change and repeat. Super simple, really effective. Great. Okay. Wazila. Hello, I'm very happy to join the live. Very happy you're here too. Great. Where are we? I'm trying to catch up with the comments. Respectable, very nice, quite expensive. Yes, good reputation. Exactly. Romelia, great to see you here. I like the adjective nondescript. Yeah, nondescript just means normal, very plain, very simple. Yeah. Like nondescript, you cannot describe it. It is so simple, plain, right? It's a nice word, yeah, nondescript, plain, simple, run of the mill. It's a very run of Ah! Good. Come on, old man. Learn to type. Run of the mill. You can't see me because it's here. Nondescript neighborhood, plain, simple, run of the mill. Run of the mill means ordinary, simple, plain. Is there a PDF, Evelyn? Yes, this is it, and I will edit it later, and you can get it on the website later. What is the meaning of the neck of the woods? Yeah, so that's a different idiom, actually. It's a different one, and it is, it's not the neck of the woods, it's my neck of the woods. Let me show you. My neck of the woods is it's my neighborhood. What is the meaning of my neck of the woods? My neck of the woods is my neighborhood. It's a nice expression. Let's add it on here. My neck of the woods. So maybe I'm going to meet up with a friend and I say, let's meet in this bar. It's in my neck of the woods. Or let's meet in that restaurant, the Old Trout. It's in my neck of the woods. They're building a new shopping mall in my neck of the woods, in my neighborhood. It's a nice idiom. It's quite slang, but it's not slang. It's informal. It's colloquial. It's a good one. Nice. Yaza Babi, thank you very much. That's really nice. Great. Pradeep asks, can we use teeming as a bustling city, a teeming city? Yes, we would normally say it's teeming with people. It's teeming with activity, right? My neighborhood is teeming with activity. Yes. We're getting onto neighborhoods rather than family, so I'll leave that one with you. Great. First time here, Ihuama, great to see you. Lovely, excellent. Okay, Keith, there are lots of people here. Yes, but Natalia, you've made it. That's what counts. Lovely. Any others? Axel says, from Algeria, I discovered the English accent is great. I agree entirely. The English accent is lovely. Of course, I agree. Now then, let's move on. So let's look at the story again. So we're going to look at the story again very quickly, and we can review this vocabulary, and we will continue with the remaining part of chapter 1. So, by the way, if you've just arrived, you may have just arrived. Today's topic is family, right? We're talking all about the family, and we're looking at the vocabulary, and we're doing it through a story. It's a story of Mr. Li in China. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at the remaining part of chapter 1, but also from the beginning, just to review the vocabulary. Okay, right, let's do it. Watch carefully and see what happens in the next part of the story. Chapter 1, Roots. In a small village in China, there was a boy named Li. Unlike many of his friends who were only children, he had one little sister, Xiao. They lived in a cozy home in a rural neighborhood. In fact, their village was really out in the sticks. The nearest shop was a 2-mile walk away. Their house wasn't big, but at the heart of it was the dining room. That's where the family gathered around the fireplace and shared meals, stories, and laughter. So, at the heart of it means at the center or in the center of the house. It can be idiomatic. It is idiomatic. The dining room, of course, is where you dine or have dinner. But whereas we say dinner, this is dining room. That's where the family gathered around. So to gather around is where people come together. To gather is together. To come together around the fireplace where they have this fire, a live fire. Li's parents were amazing. They taught him so much, not just school stuff, but life lessons too. They raised and educated him with love. Oh. Whenever Lee faced problems, they were there to lend a helping hand. Truly, his family was his rock. What a great family. They raised and educated him. So to raise somebody is to bring them up, to give them clothes and food and education. We also say to educate them. And to lend a helping hand means just to help. It's a more idiomatic expression, to lend a helping hand, to help. So there you are, the story of Lee. Well, so far, that's chapter 1, right? What a lovely family. Had a nice childhood, brought up in maybe a small but a nice area. So in a rural neighborhood. Let's just very briefly go back, because we were looking at the vocabulary, right? We've talked about only children. We've talked about younger or little sister. This one I'm just going to highlight again, out in the sticks. So to be out in the sticks equals to be far away from the city. To be out in the sticks, to be far away from the city. Okay. Great. We had their house wasn't big, but at the heart of it. So at the heart of it equals in the center. It's idiomatic. We can say at the heart of the house, there is the kitchen in the center. At the heart of this city, we can find the town hall. I think I don't know, we can talk about lots of things. At the heart of my lesson today, we will have a story in the center, in the middle. Dining room, as I mentioned, is where we have dinner. And then gather around is to come together, right? To gather around. Raised, educated, to lend a helping hand just means to help. Okay. Great. Okay. Let me just have let's carry on with vocabulary, because there's lots of stuff here that's quite interesting. When we're talking about family activities, so to gather around. To gather around, yeah. So it's a nice expression to talk about family or friends when you have a meal or a table and the family gather around. Come. Everybody comes together and they're around the table. So we gather around the food, gather around the table. We gather around the fire, if you have a fire. So it's really nice to talk about activities. We gather around the table and tell stories. We gather around the table and have dinner. We gather around the table and play cards, right? Gather around. Huddle is the same, but huddle has the idea of gather is just come together. Huddle is kind of you're almost closer. Like hugging, you're closer almost. Okay, both of them are great words, right? To gather round, to huddle round, to get together. It's the same idea, to get together. We used to, so talking in the past, we used to, or we would. So we used to gather round the table and eat dinner. We used to huddle round the table and play cards. Okay, other examples. We used to huddle round. So you can use them the same way. Huddle round the table and play cards. Or we would gather round. We would gather around the table and, I don't know, tell stories, tell jokes. I guess in many countries, in Spain in particular, I've noticed in Spain, people like to go to the bar, gather around in the bar, or gather around a table, or gather around the bar and tell jokes. Seems like a very popular activity. But families like to tell jokes or tell stories. So maybe they gather around the table, or they, we would get together we would get together around the fire and tell stories. Things like that, right? All these things we can talk about. So gather around, huddle around. Huddle around, I'm going to put in blue because I'm putting the more advanced vocabulary, I'm going to put in blue, right? Just so you know. So if you're a lower level, don't worry about it. If you're higher level, you can practice this, huddle round. So again, remember the change and repeat. Just change one word and repeat and repeat. We used to gather around the kitchen and tell stories. Yes, Kamwal, good. You can say round or around. You can say both. Gather round or gather around. Both of those are right. Right, great. There's a good question from Asliddin. So do you have a lower speaking course? At the moment, no, I don't. It's a really good question. My speaking courses at the moment are intermediate and above. It's a good idea, maybe in the future, because I can see a few people asking me. What does it mean his family is his rock? Yeah. When we say my family is my rock, so a rock is something fixed. It's a big stone. It's fixed. It doesn't move. So his family is his stability or his foundation. His strength might be a good one. Yeah. Let me add that because that's quite a nice expression. My family is my rock. Means my family is my strength. Is my stability, my foundation. Yeah, it's like when you build a house, you need a strong foundation. You need a strong base. So my family is my rock. They give me strength. They make me strong, stable. It's a good thing, right? No, rock means strength. No, rock is a stone. Whoops. A rock is a stone, a big stone. Yeah, let's just make that clear. Let's go into Google. I'll show you. Google's always good. So a rock, yeah, is a big stone like this. This is a rock. So when you build a house, you need a rock. You need a big stone as a foundation. It doesn't mean strength. Idiomatically, yes, it's the strength. Idiomatically, okay. Cozy home, comfortable. So cozy is comfortable. Yeah. I'll just add that one on as well. Cozy as an adjective equals comfortable. Whoops. Okay. Can't spell. Bear with me. Come on. Okay. Cozy home. I'm trying to get my thingy back. Excuse me. And I was double checking the spelling. It should be with an S. Cozy, not with a Z. Excuse me. Right. Okay. Moving on. Parents raise, bring up, educate children. So this is another more vocabulary here talking about family. Parents raise, bring up, educate children. So we say to raise a child. So to raise basically is to look after. So when you give your children food, a house, clothes, and look after them so they can grow strong, you raise your children. Raise your children or bring up your children. Educate is the same, but it's more about not giving clothes, but giving ideas, values, information, skills, right? But you're giving them and looking after them. So parents raise or bring up children. So we can say, my parents raised me to be honest. Yeah, typically we say that. You can say, my parents raised me to be good. My parents raised me to be honest, to tell the truth, to be a good person. We use the passive when you talk about yourself. So remember, it's I was raised by my parents, but you don't need to say by my parents. I was raised in Manchester. Let's put. I was raised in Manchester. I was brought up in Manchester by, yeah, you don't need to say by my parents because it's clear. So it's always by my parents. So you don't need to say that. If you were brought up by somebody different, it would make sense. So if you were brought up by your grandmother, I was brought up in Manchester by my grandmother, then yes, it makes sense. But you don't need to say by my parents because we assume that. More advanced vocabulary with the same meaning. I was born and bred in Manchester. Whoops. It's because my microphone is near my keyboard. It's not because I'm a terrible typer. Honest. So I was born and bred in Manchester. Manchester is not advanced vocabulary. So born and bred, to breed is normally for an animal. It's to raise an animal, but we use it idiomatically for people. I was born and bred in Manchester. All of these have the same meaning, right? I had a strict upbringing. Okay, so strict is an adjective meaning with a lot of discipline, right? A lot of discipline. So if your parents are very strong and they say, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, you must do this. And if you make a mistake, you get into trouble. Those are strict parents, right? They control you and they discipline you. So that's strict. Like some teachers, very strict. So if your parents are like that, you can say, I had a strict upbringing. Or I had a traditional upbringing. Now, traditional upbringing, well, it depends on your country and your culture. So it's very flexible. It can mean anything. I don't know. I mean, a traditional upbringing for some people is that the boys don't do the cooking and don't clean the house, and the girls clean the house, right? That was a traditional upbringing in England. Times have changed, thank goodness. I was well educated. Yeah, it means that you were brought up with good values. You were brought up to be a polite person. Okay. Now, this is I'm going to, Fari Balls, I'm going to share your comment because this is such a common mistake, actually. So it's not I was grown up in Shiraz. You can either say I grew up in da da da, or I was brought up, right? But notice that to grow up is not the passive, right? Because you grow. It's not that your parents did it. You can't say I was grown up by my parents. No. So it's I grew up in Shiraz. Yeah. Let me just bring that over here. I'll help you. And I wanted to share that with everyone, Faribors, because so many students do the same. So many students say, oh, I was grown up, because they're thinking I was raised, I was brought up, but it's I grew up, right? Big change, really important change to get your grammar right. Thank you so much, Faribors Norzari. That's really useful for everybody. Thank you. Camwell says, I truly had a strict upbringing. Interesting, right? Notice you need a and stricted. You're thinking adjective ed, but strict is the adjective. I truly had a strict upbringing. Lovely, Camwell. Nice. I think so many children did, right? Great. Another one here, Wasili. I was brought up in Tlemcen, if that's how you pronounce it. Okay, excellent, good. Listen, let's move forward. We've been looking at the vocabulary. Let's watch chapter 2 of the Beijing story. That's for me, video 3. Let's watch chapter 2 of the Beijing story. What's going to happen next? So far, Li, he was brought up in a rural neighborhood in China. He has a little sister, Xiao, and the family, well, they used to gather around the table together, and they used to, I think the father was telling stories. Let's find out. Chapter 2 is called Beijing. What's going to happen in chapter 2? Haha. Let's find out in the next part of the story. Here we go. Chapter 2, Beijing. After finishing school, Li moved to Beijing to attend college. Those years flew by, and soon he graduated with big dreams. Beijing, of course, is the capital of China. To go to college, you can say to attend college, and to graduate, of course, is to finish your studies in the school or the college or the university. With the help of his uncle and his sister Xiao, they set up a family business in the bustling city. They set up an e-commerce platform for locally sourced organic foods. What a good idea. So they set up a business, means they established or created a business. And a business you run with family, members of your family, here his sister and uncle, is a family business, obviously. Bustling city just means busy. What a good idea. Locally sourced organic foods online. Sounds like it will be a success. Let's find out. It wasn't easy at first. They faced many challenges, long hours and many sleepless nights. But with teamwork and dedication, their hard work paid off. So to face a challenge is to hit or to see or to find yourself with a challenge. And sleepless nights, of course, when you cannot sleep because you're worried, you're thinking about stuff. Maybe before your IELTS test, you have sleepless nights. Less meaning without, sleep less without sleep. Their hard work paid off. So to pay off in this context means to give a reward or to give a benefit. So when you're working very hard and then you reap the benefit, it pays off. The work pays off. After a few years, their business wasn't just doing okay, it was a huge success. Li and Xiao had become famous business people, and they felt proud of their family's shared achievement. Excuse me, typo. So a huge success, nice collocation, right? A big success, a huge success. And to feel proud is when you do something that's really amazing, but you're very happy with yourself. Feel proud of something. Feel proud of their family's shared achievement. Nice. It's an interesting story, Li and Xiao. So they move to the big city, happens a lot, sets up a nice business, and, well, they've become very successful so far. But will things change? Possibly. Let's have a quick look. There's a few phrases that were interesting, in particular some collocations there. I'm just going to point out one or two for you. After finishing school, Lee moved to Beijing to attend college. Those years flew by. It's an interesting to fly by, meaning to go quickly, right? To go quickly. To graduate is just to leave school. So you can graduate from high school, you can graduate from university, you can graduate from college. So normally we say from a place. Or graduate with big dreams, right? With the help of his uncle and his sister Xiao. So this is a family business, common collocation, family business. To set up a business is a very common and useful phrase, right? It's a phrasal verb, as we say. So to create and start a new business is to set up a business. Okay. So they had an e-commerce platform for locally sourced organic foods. Organic food is food that has not had any medicine, pesticide, chemicals, no chemicals at all. It's natural. Locally sourced means it's grown locally. So it's not flown from another country or brought from another country. It's local. Good idea for a business, right? Very good idea. More collocations. To face a challenge. They face challenges. So to face a challenge is really to find and handle a difficult situation. When you're working, you always face challenges. There are difficult things. So it's to kind of hit the difficult situation, but it's also how you respond. Are you good at facing challenges, or do you run away? Sometimes you run away from a challenge. Sometimes you face the challenge, which is to handle the challenge, right? So to find and handle, to face a challenge. Sleepless nights, another good collocation. You can talk about that when you're studying at university. I had a lot of sleepless nights because I was studying. Or if you're at work and you're thinking you have so many problems, you can't sleep, you have sleepless nights. Sleep less. Less meaning no, negative, no sleep, right? When your work pays off, to pay off, really, it has different meanings, but here, to pay off means to be successful. And we normally say it paid off. That's the normal way we use it, right? It paid off. I studied a lot. I passed the exam. It paid off. My study paid off. I worked a lot. I made a lot of money. It paid off. My work paid off. I invested in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. I lost all my money. It didn't pay off. It didn't pay off. So in this sense, to pay off is to be successful, right? It paid off. The way to use it really is just say it paid off. Don't think too much about, just use that sentence. Huge success is another collocation, a big success. And to feel proud of something is nice, right? Feel proud of, to feel happy about. Excellent, good. Nice. I love it when you're all making sentences. You're taking this, you're doing that change and repeat, just practice and practice. Anna said, I had so many sleepless nights taking care of my children. Exactly. Sarah says, organic means with no chemicals. Perfect, Sarah. Well done. Run away from the challenge, Mike. Run away from the challenge. Yes. More hard work and keep fighting will pay off. Will pay off. Yes. So with pay, because it's a verb, just you do have to pay attention to the tense, right? So it paid off is in the past, but in the future it will pay off. Yeah. If you study a lot to prepare for IELTS, it will pay off. if you follow my lessons, it will pay off, right? You will be successful. Great. Any difference between college and university? Oh, that's a big question. So in England, we talk about universities. Some universities, like Oxford and Cambridge, are divided into smaller colleges, right? You've got King's College, you've got Christ College. There are different colleges within the university. However, in America, I think they use college and university the same. It's the same word, I think. Can we say run into problems? Yes, you can. Yes. Zara, you can run into problems. Yes. That's when you hit the problem, right? Anna says you'll bear fruit and it'll pay off in the end. Yes. Yeah, okay. Pay off to be worthwhile, Nelson. Yes, good. Same idea, to be worthwhile. It will pay off. Exactly, you've got it. Walter says, you teach English with organic method. Yeah. I like it. Yes, no chemicals. I like it very, very much. Okay, good. Let me move on. I'm going to take a break. Family joke, okay? This is just me taking a break because it gives me a chance to have a drink. Family joke. This is a joke for children, right? We often say to children, when is it time to go to the dentist, right? When is it time to go to the dentist? What do you think? Bum bum bum. That's my jingle. You know, like in the radio, they have a jingle. Have a think about it. Tell me what you think in the box below. Bum bum bum. When is it time to go to the dentist? Let's see what you think, guys. Oh, there are so many comments. When you eat lots of candies. Oh, I see, yes. When you have a sweet tooth. Teeth decaying. Yeah, but remember it's a joke, right? I get the sweet tooth. That was a nice answer. I spent 4 years of my studying and it is paying off. Gwen, perfect. Absolutely perfect. When your teeth are dented? You mean when they're broken? When you have tooth pain? When you eat too much sugar? Here's the answer. Well done. That's the answer. You're like, what? Why? Well, the answer is tooth hurty. Tooth hurty. Hurt. You can't see. Tooth hurty. Tooth 30. Tooth hurt. With children, we often say hurty, hurty. We put an E on the end. Like Keith is Keithy. Tooth hurty. Oh, tooth hurty. 2:30. Get it? Da 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 da. Ha ha ha. Ning Liang gets it. Excellent. Good. Here's one more for you. A quick one. Why didn't the teddy bear eat dessert? Why didn't the teddy bear eat dessert? I would have another drink, but I've run out. I've run out of tea. Why didn't the teddy bear eat dessert? It is 2:30 in India. Laugh out loud. Adam is a dentist. I feel it's a tricky answer. Yes, yes. Don't go only when your tooth hurts, right? Can we say pain tooth? No, toothache. When you have toothache, like stomach ache, headache, toothache. High is fat. Whoa, no. Because they like leaves. Nope. Teddy bear. Teddy bear. Remember, teddy bear. Because it's a teddy bear. Because they're not real. Not bad. Good answer. Good answer. Maybe it is hungry and no honey available. Not quite. So remember the teddy bear, right? Teddy bear looks like this. Teddy bears are not real. They're toys. And they are... Can anybody get it? Yay, Minhas. He is already stuffed. Exactly. Right? He's already stuffed. Because he was stuffed. So to be stuffed, right, is to be filled with, let's say, foam, or what do they put in teddy bears? It's like they put the foam or cloth, right? But it also means to be full. To be full, you cannot eat anymore. To be stuffed. I'm stuffed is to be full. It's very colloquial. I'm stuffed. Would you like some more soup? No, I'm stuffed. Because it was stuffed. Exactly. Ha ha. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Chamos, thank you very much. Sponge. That's what they're stuffed with. Yes. Foam, cloth, sponge. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure what the official word is. Right. Good. Okay. Let me step back for a moment. Find out where we are in the class. We are looking at family, right? Today, that's the topic. We're looking at, or we have looked at vocabulary. We've been looking at the story so far, the story of Li, who grew up in a rural neighborhood out in the sticks, and then he went to Beijing, created a business that was very, very successful. Next, we're going to play bingo, a listening bingo. So we're going to test your listening skills, and, well, I'll explain the game. Those of you who follow or are members of the Gold course, we play bingo a lot in the live lessons, so you'll be familiar with this. But don't worry, I'm going to explain how we play. So let's move on. Listening bingo. Here we go. So with listening bingo, we've got two activities. First, we're just going to listen and watch to get the idea. And then we're going to listen again to identify words. So first, I want you to watch this interview with Mr. Li. The Mr. Li, who is a famous and successful businessman from China. He grew up in the rural neighborhoods and set up this organic food, locally sourced business. He's a very successful businessman. Let's watch the interview. And the question I want you to answer is, what did his father like to do? What did his father like to do? Okay. When you're ready, just give me a thumbs up in the chat. Hey, Gigi John, thank you for the comment. That's great. I'm glad it helps. So when you're ready to listen or watch, just give me a thumbs up, okay? We're just going to listen and answer the question, what did his father like to do? Okay, I can see the thumbs up. Excellent. Here we go. Let's do it. So here we are with Mr. Li, a famous and successful businessman from China with one of the biggest e-commerce platforms in the country. Mr. Li, let's get back to your roots. Tell us about your family home. Oh, my family home back in the village was really special. It was a simple traditional house, but really warm and cozy. Without a doubt, my favorite room was the dining room. There was this massive fireplace, and we would huddle around the fire on dark winter nights. I remember my dad was one for storytelling, and he used to tell us incredible tales of our ancestors. I was never sure if he made up the stories or if they were true. But that upbringing and the love of telling a good story is something that actually helped me build our business to the success it is today. Mr. Lee, he looks familiar. I recognize him. His face rings a bell. Okay, the question was, what did his father like to do? Any ideas in the chat? I see Wang says ha ha ha. Okay. Aha. Storytelling. Storyteller. Telling stories. Like to tell stories. His father tells stories. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, he liked to tell stories. Okay, perfect. Great. Well done. Now, next. I want you to listen again. And this time we're only listening. So not watching, just listening. And I want you to mark the exact words mentioned. And when you have a line of 3, type bingo and the words in the chat. So if you hear bum, 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 small and cozy, then just make a note, small and cozy. And if you hear without a doubt, make a note. And when you get 3, all of them the same, right? Then just what you can do is just go boom, and in the chat, type bingo, because you've got 3 in a line. Okay? You may get 3 like that, or you may get 3 like that. It can be any kind of line. It can also be a diagonal line, right? Diagonal lines as well are possible. It might be like that. So any 3 in a row, even like that. When you get 3 in a row, type bingo and type the words that you hear. Okay. If you're ready, are you ready? I hope you're ready. Let's listen again and see if you can identify the words. Here we go. Let's do it. So here we are with Mr. Lee, a famous and successful business. Sorry, let me get that a bit louder. So here we are with Mr. Lee, a famous and successful businessman from China with one of the biggest e-commerce platforms in the country. Mr. Lee, let's get back to your roots. Tell us about your family home. Oh, my family home back in the village was really special. It was a simple traditional house, but really warm and cozy. Without a doubt, my favorite room was the dining room. There was this massive fireplace and we would huddle around the fire on dark winter nights. I remember my dad was one for storytelling, and he used to tell us incredible tales of our ancestors. I was never sure if he made up the stories or if they were true, but that upbringing and the love of telling a good story is something that actually helped me build our business to the success it is today. Okay, you've got a few bingos, but you need to tell me the words. What are the words? Family home, small and cozy. Gather around, huddle around. So remember, you're just looking for the words here. Gather around, without a doubt, incredible tale. Ah. Aha. Aha. That's the one. That's the one. Okay, I don't know who you are, but Facebook user, that's the one. Let me play again and I'll show you, as you hear them, I'll show you the words. Let's do it again. So here we are with Mr. Lee, a famous and successful businessman from China with one of the biggest e-commerce platforms in the country. Mr. Lee, let's get back to your roots. Tell us about your family home. Oh, my family home back in the village was really special. It was a simple traditional house, but really warm and cozy. Without a doubt, the favorite room, my favorite room, was the dining room. There was this massive fireplace, and we would huddle around the fire on dark winter nights. I remember my dad was one for storytelling, and he used to tell us incredible tales of our ancestors. I was never sure if he made up the stories or if they were true, but that upbringing and the love of telling a good story is something that actually helped me build our business to the success it is today. I missed it. It was without a doubt, but I missed it. I don't know how I missed it. That was the answer. It was without a doubt. So the three are actually these ones. I'm sorry I missed it. That's the three in the row. Incredible Tales is there, but the three in the row, family home, without a doubt, build our business. That was it. Okay. Change that one, excuse me. Small and cozy was not there. I think it was warm and cozy. You can see in the script, I'll just show you. Family home, back in the village. It was warm and cozy. Warm and cozy, not small and cozy. Not small and cozy. It was warm and cozy. Without a doubt was here. We would huddle around, right? Not gather around. Incredible Tales, yes. That upbringing helped me build our business. And that was it, okay? There they are. That was the bingo. Excellent. Well done. Those of you who got it. Some of you got it. Absolutely. Mariam, nice to see you here again, as always. And Ali got the bingo. Excellent. I think quite a few of you got it, actually, and in the very, very end. Okay. Nice. Excellent. Good. Okay. What's up next? What's up next? Let's have a look. Next, let's watch the next part of the story. So here's the question, right? So the story so far, Li and his sister Xiao grew up in the countryside. They moved to Beijing. They set up a business, and the business was a huge success because they were selling organic food, locally sourced, and it was great. Everything was going really, really well. Now, in the next part of the story, do you think the business will succeed or fail? So will it get better or will it crash and fail? Let me know what you think in the chat. Just write succeed or fail. All you have to do, just write succeed or fail in the chat. And succeed or fail. I'm going to put this on a word cloud as well, and let's see your answers, hopefully. So I'm going to come over here. Will Lee's business succeed or fail? All you have to do is write succeed or fail in the chat, and we will discover what is the most popular. Fail because not enough money. Money is always a problem. So just in the chat, write succeed or fail, and then this will start coming up on our word cloud. By the way, I'm using a software called Streamer Live, and if you're teaching on YouTube, it's really good. You can get lots of nice features. So the biggest one seems to be succeed. A lot of people say succeed. Eco food become more rare and popular, right? Not now, after listening. We have no clues. That's true. Some say fail. Oh, so many people say succeed. I think they will accomplish the achievement. Because of the story heading, rags to riches. Yeah, but that's true. Story heading. Well done, you. Succeed, succeed. Oh, no idea. Storyteller. It will become a success, I think. I think fail. Achieve the Forbes 100. Nice. So many of you are saying succeed. That is so interesting. Well, it makes sense, right? Given that what we've done so far. Okay, interesting. Listen, I'm going to leave that to go. We can come back to that in a moment. So what we're going to do is, well, let's find out in the next part of the story, do they succeed or do they fail? Let's go and watch the next part of the story. Where is it? I've got to find it. It's here. Here we go. Next part of the story. Let's see if they succeed or fail. Chapter 3, Change. Lee's family business hit a rough patch. Tough competition was everywhere and the pressure was mounting. Lee and his sister Xiao were sometimes at each other's throats and even thought about selling. But a trip back to their village changed everything. So to hit a rough patch, a patch is an area of land. A rough patch it's not smooth land. So it's difficult. So a rough patch is a difficult time. So when you go through difficult times, you hit a rough patch. Idiomatic. Tough, 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 tough. I know. OUGH. Tough. Competition means strong competition. Lee and his sister were arguing, right? They were fighting and arguing. A nice idiom is to be at each other's throats. This is your throat. So like two dogs trying to eat the throat, to be at each other's throats. You can talk about your family. Sometimes brothers and sisters are at each other's throats. No, yes, no, yes. Right? Let's carry on. Walking into their old dining room, memories flooded back. Lessons of perseverance and values their parents had instilled. An idea struck Lee. Bing. Memories flooded back. Another idiom. To flood, of course, is when it rains and lots of water covers the land. To flood back is to come back, like very quickly and a lot. Memories flooded back. Ooh, nice idiom. And to instill values is to give values. To instill an idea or a belief or a value is to give your students or your children that value. An idea struck Lee. I wonder what idea struck him. What do you think it will be? Let's find out. Why not introduce products inspired by the village's traditional crafts? This innovation was a game changer. Not only did it boost their business, but it also created jobs for many villagers. Lee had found a way to blend the past with the present. So, yes, the idea then was to introduce traditional crafts from the village. So crafts might be things like clothes, adornments, little things or figurines that they make, maybe things made out of wood or cloth. The innovation, so they go ahead and this idea or the innovation changes everything. You can say it's a game changer when it makes a huge change. So it boosts their business and it was good for the villagers as well. How nice. Moving on, chapter 4. Okay, so, success, right? There was a failure because of the competition, but then there was some success. Milda gives us a very interesting comment here. I think the failure is a part of the success. When someone starts a business, they are they lack experience and they have to overcome a lot in order to become successful. That is very, very true. Yes. So sometimes failure leads to success, right? Just notice failure is the noun. Let me add that here. Great opportunity for you and me, Milda, to show everybody. I think failure is part of the success. Nice, very nice. Just showing you very briefly, there's just one or two interesting expressions there. To hit a rough patch, right, is to hit troubled times or difficult times. So you can talk about hitting a rough patch in business. Maybe in your marriage, you might hit a rough patch when things are not going very well. Business, marriage, studying, in your career, right? I remember in my career, maybe 10 years ago, I hit a rough patch. You know, my career was very difficult. So to hit a rough patch. Tough competition just means heavy competition or a lot of competition. Competition. I noticed somebody put in a nice idiom, which was cutthroat competition, which is lovely, right? So tough competition is, you know, strong competition or cutthroat competition. And to be at each other's throats is to be arguing very strongly. So this is typical in family business when people disagree, in families, brothers and sisters, sometimes in marriages, husbands and wives, or wives and wives, husbands and husbands. You can be at each other's throats when you disagree about things, right? So some very, very interesting expressions there. Now, I'm going to move on. We're going to watch the last chapter of the story, the last chapter, and we want to find out which of these will happen. Let me show you. Not this one. Wait a moment. Okay, I'm going to put this on the screen. We're going to watch the last chapter. I'd like you to say which of these will happen. You could just put your number, put the number in the chat. Number 1, someone copies the business and Lee goes bankrupt. Number 2, Xiao steals the business and Lee is left with nothing. Number 3, Lee marries a girl from the village. 4, Xiao marries a colleague from Beijing. And 5, Xiao becomes famous and is killed by a fan. Wow. So just write the number, what you think, in the chat box, what you think the answer is. Right, as soon as you put the number in, it'll start to show on the votes here. We've got a few people saying Xiao steals the business. The horrible sister. Someone copies the business. That's so common, right? Quite a few saying Li will marry a girl from the village. Some of you think Xiao will become famous and killed by a fan. Oh dear. Keep voting and let's find out what you think's going to happen. So at the moment, more and more of you think somebody's going to copy the business and Lee goes bankrupt. That happens so often. People copy your business. It's very easy to copy other people's business. And then that business, well, they either go bankrupt, so they lose all their money. To go bankrupt is to lose all your money, or they fail, or they change the business and start a new business. There are different ways to handle it, right? Xiao steals the business and Li is left with nothing. 9% say that. 47% think that Li marries a girl from the village. There was a clue in the story, right? And some of you have picked up on the clue. But number 4, Xiao marries a colleague from Beijing. Why do more of you think Li will get married before Xiao gets married? That's interesting. And this kind of a dark ending, the dark ending where Xiao gets killed by a fan, 15%. Oh dear, oh dear. Right. Well, listen, let's find out. Is it a tragedy? It might be. It might be a tragedy. It could be a horrible, horrible ending. It could be that kind of happy American ending, or it could be that tragic British ending where everybody dies and loses their money. What do you think it is? Well, we'll find out. I wonder in your country what kind of an ending it would be. Most of you are going for the happy ending, number 3. The second most popular is number 1, which is a sad ending that Li goes bankrupt. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. We're going to see the end of the story in a moment. Before I show you the end of a story, I have an advertisement. Blatant, honest advertisement. I want to let you know, next Monday, I am launching a new ebook. I have a new ebook about idioms. Those of you who follow me probably know I love idioms. I use idioms all the time. I love to teach idioms. There are so many idioms, like in today's lesson, right? To be at each other's throats or to hit a rough patch. Lots of idioms. So I have, over the past few months, collected the idioms, put them together for different topics like family, like work and study, and created a book, which is this book. It's called The 50 Idioms for IELTS Speaking. So it's going to help you if you're preparing IELTS speaking. Even if not, I mean, these are English idioms that you can use. 50 English idioms for IELTS speaking. It's a new ebook and it's coming on the 9th of October. Coming very, very soon. That is next Monday. So it's coming up very, very soon. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll like it. I'll show you actually what you get. When you get the ebook, you also get the workbook so you can practice it, and you get a mini novel. The mini novel uses all of the idioms so you can review the idioms as well. There are audio to listen and practice. There's audio for the novel. So you're not only reading, you're writing with the workbook, and you're listening and practicing with the novel and the mini novel. So when you buy it, it's on sale next Monday. Now, I'll let you know. Normally, it's going on sale at 17 USD. However, next week, it's only 3 USD. Okay. So for 1 week only, just for 1 week, instead of 17, it's just for 3 USD. That's like $1 for the book, $1 for the workbook, and $1 for the mini novel. It's a steal, as cheap as chips. So that's next Monday, the 9th of October. It's coming, finally, the 50 English idioms for IELTS speaking. I think you'll like it. I think you enjoy it. So you can go to my website on Monday, the Keith Speaking Academy, and I'll tell you more about it. I'll tell you more later, because right now, let's get back to the story. You're the same. It's either number 1 or number 3. So Lee goes bankrupt because someone copies the business, or he marries a girl from the village. Let's find out what actually happens in the last chapter of this story. Okay, are you ready? Let's do it. If I can find it, can I find it? Which one is it? It's this one. It's me. Oh, I'm going to do it. Yes, I'm going to do it live. Okay, let's do it live. Here we go. Let's find out what happens. Chapter 4 is called Love. There's the clue. On one of his visits to the village, Lee bumped into his childhood friend May, an only child. It had been years and they had lost touch. As they chatted, old memories resurfaced and their bond grew stronger. Over time, their friendship blossomed into love. So to bump into is to meet by chance. He met May, an only child. To lose touch is to not be in contact. So kind of forget the friendship. But they chatted, and their bond is the relationship. Their relationship grew stronger. And over time, friendship blossomed. Friendship blossoms is like a flower that opens. So when a flower opens, the flower blossoms. Idiomatically, the friendship blossomed. Normally, that's a romantic friendship. A few months later, the village was buzzing with excitement. Lee and May were getting married. Chan, chan, chan. Buzzing with excitement is a nice collocation. So buzz is the sound of the bee. Buzz. You can imagine lots of bees. It feels like excitement. So the village was buzzing with excitement. People talking, gossiping. And they had a big wedding in the village with friends and families and friends coming from near and far. Everyone said it was such a beautiful ceremony that not only celebrated their union, but also the deep family ties and traditions that brought them together. Oh. So they had a big wedding in the village. Families came from near and far. It's a collocation. It's a common phrase we use. So people come from close by and from far away, from near and far. Deep family ties. Again, family ties is relationships, right? So we can talk about ties. Ties, bonds, and relationships. All of those are very similar in meaning. Family ties, family bonds, family relationships. Nice ways to talk about them. And that was it. So actually, the answer was, it was a happy American ending. It's not American, is it? It's more of a Netflix ending. But you were right. Lee marries a girl from the village. And everything is very, very nice. Well, so far. I mean, you never know. Things might change. But for the moment, let's move on, because I did say we're listening bingo. I did say we're going to do an IELTS speaking model answer. Now, wouldn't it be interesting to do a model answer all about a family celebration? Now, I don't know if you know, but there is a very popular and common question in IELTS speaking, and it's this one. And it is, describe a traditional celebration in your country. This comes up a lot. Celebrations in your country. One of them could be talking about a wedding. Now imagine if somebody went to Mr. Lee's wedding, they could talk about this traditional celebration. So I want you to watch the model answer and tell me what was the funniest part of the celebration. You can also, if you like, note any useful phrases. And we'll have a look in a moment. But watch the model answer and tell me what was the funniest part of the celebration. Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready to watch. I love your expressions. They lived happily ever after. Yes, like the fairy tales. Netflix ending. Yes. Hip hip hooray. Yes. Okay, we've got some thumbs up. Okay, excellent. So listen, let's watch the model answer and tell me what was the funniest part of the celebration. Let's do it. Here we go, I think. So I'd like to tell you about a wedding ceremony I recently attended. It was in a small village out in the sticks where my friend Lee grew up. So Lee was the groom, and he married, well, his childhood sweetheart from the same village. So yeah, the wedding took place in the village, and the whole place was decorated with these beautiful red lanterns and flowers, which symbolize love and prosperity. So yeah, one of the highlights, I guess, was the tea ceremony. So the bride and groom dress up in traditional outfits, and then they serve tea to their parents and grandparents. Basically, it's a way of showing respect and gratitude to their elders. I think the funniest part was the games that are a traditional part of Chinese weddings. I mean, we call them 窗门, which I guess in English you could say door games. So traditionally, yeah, the groom has to kind of fight for the bride or to earn the bride by doing some difficult tasks, right? So the bridesmaids made my friend Lee sing a love song at the top of his lungs before they let him into the room. Yeah, and he also had to wear these silly pink slippers at the same time. Yeah, it was all in good fun, of course. And yeah, I mean, the whole wedding, the whole day was a nice mix of laughter, tradition, and values, I guess. Right. So that was it, a traditional celebration in China, let's say. I was pretending to be a friend of Mr. Lee. Okay, funniest part of the celebration. Changum. Yes. Door game. Fighting for the bride. Well done, guys. Door games. Yes. I don't know if I got the right word. Tea ceremony and traditional games. Yeah, Sapphire says a game in which the bride, silly pink slippers. Nice. Nice. Very, very nice. So, yes, let me bring this up. So, the funniest part of the celebration was the door games, these funny games that they play to show that they've earned the apparently, this is what I'm told traditionally when you get married, and this happened to me because I also had a Chinese wedding. Is the parents want to make sure that the groom earns their daughter, that he has to fight hard for her. He has to do some difficult tasks. It's a symbol, right? So the family or friends will set up some difficult games that you have to play and you have to win in order to take the bride. Very, very funny, very interesting. So just looking at the script, any interesting phrases that came up? If you're talking about a wedding, we talk about a wedding ceremony, okay? And childhood sweetheart, marrying the person you were in love with as a child is a common collocation. The wedding took place in their village. The highlights was the tea ceremony. Again, that's a typical Chinese thing, I think. So the bride is the woman getting married, and the groom is the man getting married. I'll just make that clear in case these are new words for you. Woman getting married. And the groom, well, the groom is the man getting married. Bride and groom. Nice. And then we had, what else did we have? So you may get this a lot when you know the word in your own language, but you don't know the English word, especially if you're describing something traditional, right? So you can just use the word in your language. It's fine, but try and explain. So I said the funniest part was the games, a traditional part of Chinese weddings. We call them 窗门, I think. So you can say in my language, we call them blah, 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 which I guess in English you could say, and then you can translate or explain, which I guess in English you could say door games, or we call them 窗门, which is a kind of game we play at weddings. right? It's just you can explain it. So don't worry about using your own language for some words, but translate or explain. Yeah, that's the way to do it. It's fine. So in this case, the bridesmaids. So the bridesmaids are the friends of the bride, right? The bridesmaids, they help the bride. Sing a love song at the top of his lungs. Another idiom, more idioms. To sing very loudly at the top of his lungs. It just means loudly. Yeah, at the top of his lungs. Lungs are in your body here. So you can shout at the top of your lungs. I can sing at the top of my lungs. You can scream at the top of your lungs, right? Nice idioms. So that was it. It was a nice mixture of tradition, family values. That was the end of the story. There we have it, guys, the end of the story. And, well, almost the end of the class, but not quite. We're almost there. We have one more activity left for today. If you're still with me, we're going to finish up with a game of Kahoot. Talking of Changmen, this game of Kahoot, we are going to, well, what are we going to do? We're going to review some of the words from today's lesson in a game. If you don't know this, you can get it on your phone. There is an app called the Kahoot app, or just go to kahoot.it and we'll play the game together. Let me set this up and then we'll play. I think most of you are familiar with this. Family, there we go. Let me start it up. Okay, so you just go to kahoot.it, put in your name and the PIN. I'll set this up. I'll show you where we are, actually, so you can see. Get ready to join. So there's the PIN, 4394457. So put in your name and the PIN, 4394457. Great. Okay, I can see lots of you joining. Great. Great. Burns, thank you for putting that in. Excellent. Good. Burns, could you also drop in the website, the Keith Speaking Academy? I'll just speak into Burns, who works with me, to drop in the message, because some people are asking for the website address, keithspeakingacademy.com. Great. Lots of you are joining. Let's get stuck in. We get started. How many have we got in? I can't see. 70. Okay. That's probably enough to get going. Don't worry if you can't get in. You can still play by putting your answer in the chat. Okay, let's go. Let's begin. Family. Sarah has no siblings. She is a blank child. Sole, single, only, just. So choose your correct answer, right? Sarah has no siblings. She is a blank child. Sole, single, only, or just. And you have 30 seconds. Whoa, excellent, right? Only child. A few of you said soul. Yeah, we wouldn't say a soul child. We would just say an only child, right? No siblings, no brothers or sisters, an only child. Nice. Let's see what the scores are next. Hattie is at the top. So you were the fastest with the right answer. Queenie and SS were next. Question number 2. We live far away from the city, out in the blank. Branches, sticks, twigs, or lines. We live far away from the city, out in the blank. Branches, sticks, twigs, or lines. What do you think is the answer? Like this house here, far away from the city. Well done, Sapphire and Jana. Oh, that's interesting. Quite a few said branches and twigs. It's the right idea, but sticks is the right answer. Out in the sticks, meaning far away from the city. Out in the sticks. Nice idiom. Oh, things have changed. Queenie has moved up into first place. Hatties is second and SS is still third. Julia, you're up 13 places. Well done. Next question. I live in Santander, but I was blank up in Manchester. Raised, bring, bought, or brought. Now, be really careful, right? I live in Santander, but I was blank up in Manchester. Raised, bring, bought, or brought. And there's a lovely picture there. That's Manchester Cathedral, I think. Oh, is it the... It's not the cathedral. It's the building at the back of the canal. There's a nice canal in Manchester. Oh, what's happening? What's happening here? Why did 28 people say raised? Well, I'll tell you why. Because you're thinking, I was raised in Manchester. But you can't say I was raised up. No, I was brought up. So I think some of you missed the word up, right? Up. I was blank up. I was brought up. Yeah. Definitely not bring. Definitely not bought. To buy is with money. Nobody bought me. I was brought up. Yeah, not raised. You can say I was raised in Manchester, but not I was raised up. That's the key. Oh dear. Not to worry. Let's see what the scores are like. Queenie is still at the top. Philip has moved into second and Janai Milikan is in third. Let's move on. Last question. Which of the following is the odd one out? Which is different? Gather round, ask round, huddle round, get together. Which one is different? And I mean different in meaning. Which is different in meaning. Right, exactly. Yes, ask round. So ask round is just to ask different people. Gather round, huddle round, get together are all the same, meaning you come together with other people. All the same meaning. Okay, listen, let's check out the final scores on the podium. Who moved it? Oh, Janai, you've got third place. Well done. Philip managed second, and I wonder who? Queenie, you did it. You held on to that first place. Well done. Very, very good. Well done, Queenie. Fantastic. Congratulations. You made it to the top. Nice. Very good. So, great. We have come to the end. So today has been an interesting lesson. We've been talking about family today. We've been looking at lots of vocabulary like only child, sibling, half-brother, step-brother, things like that. We've talked about, well, we had the story, Rags to Riches, the story of Li and his little sister Xiao, who built up this business, faced some challenges, and they hit a rough patch because of the tough competition, but they changed direction. They pivoted, as many companies do, and they started with these traditional crafts. And in the end, Li gets married to his childhood sweetheart. Very, very nice story. We had the listening bingo where we were identifying different phrases from the listening. We did the model answer, which was actually about a celebration, a traditional celebration. In this case, we heard about Li's wedding with Xiao and how funny it was with the different games they played. And we've ended up with a game of Kahoot, trying to get you to really review and test yourself with new language. And do remember with new language to always just try and make a phrase, right? Just try and change and repeat, change and repeat. Make a phrase, repeat, repeat, repeat. Change a word, repeat, repeat. Whether it's speaking or writing, all of that is going to help you. So a bit of housekeeping, as we say, just to let you know, in November, right? This is a bit small, but let me make this a bit bigger. In November, there's no live lesson. I do apologize, but I'm taking a break. It's been a busy summer. It's been a very busy summer. I'm going to take the first week off in November, so I won't be doing a live lesson in November. The next live lesson will be December, right? There will be a video every Saturday in November. And then the next live lesson, and maybe Burns, you could just put this in the chat as well, will be December the 7th. Let me just double check, but I'm pretty sure. I'm so old-fashioned. I have a written diary. Not very digital, am I? It is. It's the 7th of December. Okay, so I apologize that we're going to miss the live lesson in November, but there'll be one in December. And every Saturday, you can get a video on my channel, English Speaking Success. Also, to let you know, next Monday, 9th of October, there's a new ebook coming out, 50 English Idioms for IELTS Speaking. I'm sure you're going to like it and enjoy it. It's idioms talking about 10 different topics. I can show you up here. You get the book, the workbook, and a novel to practice all the idioms, as well as an audio MP3 for each of the books. So actually, it's 3 books. You get the book, the workbook, and the novel at the end. I think you'll like it. I think you'll enjoy it. I will be doing a live session on Monday to tell you more about it. If you want to know more about the ebook, so that's on YouTube and Facebook on Monday, the 9th, that's next week, at 2 p.m. Spain time. I'll be here, just a short live session, about 40 minutes, to tell you more about the ebook. I'll be introducing the book, we'll be playing a game, and I'll have some freebies. So if you want to get maybe a free copy, then you can do that in the game on Monday. After October the 9th, the price will be $17. But next week, just for 1 week only, you can get it for $3. If you come to the live session on Monday, you have a chance to get it for free. But otherwise, it's just $3, right? For 3 books, 3 MP3 files. Great. Burns, if you could just leave the website again. All of this information, so from today's lesson, right? All of this PDF, I will put on the website. So the website is the KeithSpeakingAcademy.com. And if you go on the website later today, go up to the free live lessons and you'll be able to download the PDF. At the moment, it's last month about geography, but we will change that later tonight. So come back tonight or tomorrow and you can download the PDF. It's free and then you can study. And what's more, you can actually get lots more different live lessons from different topics to get all the information you need. If you're preparing for IELTS speaking, there's lots of stuff there. It's like a treasure, a gold treasure if you're preparing for IELTS, and it's all free on the website. Okay, lovely. I think that's it. I think we're finished. I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you, all of you, so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you found it useful. And I'll see you on Monday if you're joining that live session, Monday at 2 p.m. Spain time. Excellent. Good. Let's have a bit of a music to leave, and I'll see you there. Take care, my friends. Thank you so much.
In the town of Glossop, where the stars align, Tom and Emily are friends for all
Nice to see you, Louisa.
Manchester lights and they paint their dreams. Stargazing lovers, or so it seems. Watchful eyes under starlit skies.
Thanks, Chamos.
Love evolves where the heart never lies. In the world of Kenya, where the echoes roar, together they dance.
Thanks, much dear.
Their spirits soar. TV shows in a popcorn gaze. History whispers through endless days. Quirks and laughs, they share the right in each other's arms.
Only
they
digital.
forever reside.
Save the planet.
David's shadow, a ghost from the past.
Thanks, Esther.
Tension in the air, a spell is cast. But love is a shield, a fortress strong. Together they stand where they belong. Watchful eyes under
Thank you.
starlit skies. Love evolves where the heart never lies. In the world of Kenya, where the
My
echoes
pleasure.
roar, together they dance. Their spirits soar.
Happy birthday. See you in the live lesson, December 7th.
Hopeful notes play the final song.
Nice to see you, Vladimir.
It seems at last
It's called Watchful Eyes, and it's based on the novel from Gold Course.
facing the future.
Hey. You'll love it.
With watchful eyes, together they stand.
Thank you, Yeze. Thank you, all of you, so much. It's a real pleasure. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.